Hey, coaches, welcome back. Today, what we want to do is we want to add another portion of our multiple wing tee offense. I know everybody that's wing tee or wing tee-esque has play action passing, but today, what we want to do is give you our play action passing, our concepts and how we do it, the tweaks that we have within it, as well as what I call our play action pass screen game, which is a little bit different, but has been successful for our program throughout the year. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our multiple wing tee play action pass. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and we're going to look at waggle. Now, we don't call it waggle, but waggle's a term that most people use, especially coaches, when it comes to this bootleg action. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to start on the left. Okay, I'm going to start on the left, and I want to make sure that everybody's aware of, first of all, what we do and how we number receivers, because to me, numbering receivers is critical, and everything that we do works off of receiver numbering. Okay, so in this case, because the quarterback is going to bootleg to his left, that makes the Y in this case, or really X. You'll have to forgive my lettering here, but the X right here, he becomes number 1. We're going to go across to the next eligible. That is number 2, which is the Y running the drag, and number 3 is the halfback. Now, I'm not going to lie. This was done before we made some changes here recently, and so we would call him 1, the fullback 2, the tight end in this case 3, and the backside halfback 4. So what we're looking at here is a basic waggle concept. And what we want to do is we're going to run comeback route with our number 1 receiver, or our deep third receiver in this case. He's going to run 18 back to 15. All right. Our fullback is going to go ahead and he's going to find himself into the flats at 3 to 5. And it's critical that he flattens out. What happens a lot of times, they'll go in and they will just keep getting depth, which now runs them into the drag route. The drag is going to be by in this case, the tight end. He's going to run a drag, and we're going to tell him to get to 10 to 12 by the time he gets to the opposite hash. And he's going to be looking for dead spots, if possible, within zones. If he's in man, he's going to continue to run through, and he's going to try to set up in zone and get big in front of the quarterback's eyes. And the backside is a backside post. Now, we don't run a traditional post. We're going to run directly. We're going to down step like we're running buck sweep. And then we're going to go ahead and run to the nearest goal post. Okay. We don't want to cross the center of the field. So that's critical in what we're doing. All right. So again, number 1, deep third player is responsible in this case for the comeback. Number 2, is the tight end. He's going to run the 10 to 12 drag. Number 3 is the backside post, and the fullback is in a flat 3 to 5. Our quarterback read is pretty simple. When we talk about quarterback read, and I'll show you why, is I like to read flat to drag to comeback. Okay, so as our quarterback, and we can get into specifics in his steps and how he reads them, but once he breaks that corner and he starts coming downhill, I teach my quarterbacks to actually verbally call their reads in the offseason. So he's breaking, he's coming downhill, and he's going to start saying flat, 2 steps, drag, 2 steps, come back, 2 steps, and run. Okay, so again, why do I like it like this? 1, the sooner you get the ball into the guy's hands in the flats, the more yardage he can pick up. 2 is when we consider everything, that's pretty close to being in the quarterback's eyesight. So you're not changing a whole lot when it comes to his eyesight. Okay. We used to run deep, short drag. And, now you're changing everything. So again, I like this concept. Everything's there. And the quarterback is running into the direction in which everybody is running. The drag's going to be back a little bit, but again, not a big issue. Now, the other thing we like to utilize is what we call a switch call. And what that really does is everybody's going to be doing the same, as what they were before. So you've got number one right here. Okay, he's running your comeback. Number 2 and 3 switch. Okay, so now what you get, let's just say you have a better athlete at wingback, which you should, than your tight end. So we're going to down step like a running buck with both these players, and he's going to run, the tight end now is running the backside post, and the halfback's going to continue it. He's going to run the drag route. Okay, so again, waggle, switch, simple call. We love to be able to utilize both. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here. In some of these videos, what you're going to find is that we used to run a corner route with number 1. And so some of this you might go, why are we doing this? That's not what you told us. We've made some changes. So again, what we're looking at is number 1 is the X, okay? And you can see he's running a horrible route. Oh, I know why this is too. So this is a little bit different. I haven't looked at this in a while. What we saw is that we felt like we could get the fullback through and run him on a straight up seam. Okay, fullback seam is what we called it. And then we're going to run a 12-yard out by the X. So it's a little bit different. But what we wanted to do in this case is just try to get your eyeballs understanding numbering. So again, quarterback is waggling in this direction. So he's 1. Okay, tight end is 2. He's 3. Fullback's normally in the flats, but we've decided to try to run a fullback seam. Okay, so let's take a look at this in real time. Now, my issue with my quarterback is I'd like to get him a little bit deeper. He does a good job of getting on the edge, but I'd like to get him a little bit more depth. I try to work on them. I put dummies out, and we try to get to a depth of about 7 yards. And he's pretty close. He's about 6. Now, if you notice, he's getting his shoulders squared downfield. All right, here he comes. The fullback does not get out, so that was a mess up there for us. He could have probably, and this kid can sing it, so he could have probably thrown the out route right there and been safe. But because he didn't like it to begin with, again, he's reading deep. Okay, actually, he would have been reading flat, drag, comeback, but the drag was covered, the out was covered, and the quarterback's just smart enough. The tight end, if you notice, he does a really good job. He probably should have sat a little bit quicker and just squatted, but he keeps moving, and the quarterback ends up throwing it behind him. So it's important to make sure that the guy, we call it get in your zone and get big. So squat in that zone and get big. Give yourself a target for the quarterback. All right, I love waggle on the goal line. Now, when we do it on our goal line, we do some things a little bit differently. We like to adjust his splits. We like to put him in what we call a crack alignment, and we run a crack corner. So what you should get is him coming in here hard and then either breaking to the corner or breaking to the sideline, or both, depending on the alignment. Again, it's man coverage, so it's a great man beater in these situations. All right, that's that. One adjustment that we've tried to do, instead of releasing the fullback into the flats because of the how close we are, proximity we are to the goal line, what we like to do is get him, and we haven't done it in this series yet, is to get him to just kind of help seal, allow the quarterback to get on the edge. You should be getting a drag from the backside and a backside post, okay, which really is useless in this situation. The other thing that I love about running it close to the goal line is now you give your quarterback a great opportunity to run as well. So you've got multiple threats. All right, you can see the drag wide open, but he doesn't really do a good job of settling. Again, you can see him trying to get big, and we tell him put a hand up, get big. And he does. All right. Quarterback threatens the edge that close, so people have to come off. They have to come off. They have to play the run as well. All right, let's take a look at another Play here. Okay. This is a called backside post. We don't ever run backside post. We don't tell the quarterback to look at it. We saw something from the press box because they're playing. Okay, if these two guys are playing hard run, or if he's playing hard run and this guy's playing the drag, there's nobody going to be there for the backside post. So if he's helping out on run, if that corner's helping out on run, if it's a cover three look like what you've got here, and that guy's jumping drag, it is a great play for us to run. So again, we'd just call it and tag it. So we'd call it 38 cowboy backside post. And the quarterback's going to look at it and read it. Okay, you can see him. He's playing run and he's toast. He's playing the drag, and there's going to be nobody out there for that play. Okay, again, tagging it, seeing what the defense is giving you, and give yourself the opportunity to throw the deep ball. So again, we love to throw the deep ball. Now the quarterback setup is a little bit different, and the line will block differently, okay? And I can share those rules with you. The fullback, we decided that he wouldn't go out on this either, and what we would do is allow him to be an extra blocker. Now, again, this is a different time period, and so the fullback is going out, but we have a call, basically when we call backside post, he is now an extra blocker to make sure that the quarterback is protected. We have to have the time. The quarterback is going to do like a quarter roll. I mean, essentially, he sets up over top the play side tackle. Okay, he lines up and sets up behind the play side tackle when he launches the ball. And I tell my quarterbacks, if they're that wide open, just get him the ball. All right, so now we've changed formations on you guys. We have a weak set. We call this Larry wing according to our standards. And so the quarterback is going to be booting to the tight end, okay? He's booting to the tight end. So now that makes him number one. It makes the wingback number two. It makes him number three. So we can't run a comeback. So we tell him to run a corner route, or we run an angle route, depending on the coverage, okay? Now, I prefer him just running a corner route. That makes number two run the drag, and number three is running backside post, okay? So rules apply, nothing changes. We don't have to teach anybody X does this, Y does this, Z does this. And you can see right there, I've just put up 1, 2, and 3. This is a called shot backside post, okay? It's a called shot backside post. And again, the way we would have things designed now is this fullback would end up here, okay, and kicking that guy. So we have a little bit extra security in what we're doing there. It's not a big deal. It's a very easy adjustment to make. Quarterback chunking it. X makes a great play. Now, you might be wondering why he is not in the middle of the field. Their corner does a great job of walling him up the field. And so it was hard for him to get inside, so he just stayed on the line. Quarterback gave him the ball. But that's a backside post to the X. So that is sticking with our rules. We just didn't run the route like we normally run it. We allow the quarterback. This is going to be our cowboy or waggle. It's going to be super easy for you to see. Again, our base set. And because it's our base set and the quarterback is waggling in this direction, okay, he's coming over here. That makes him number one. It makes him number two. It makes him number three. Fullback should end up in the flats. Quarterback delivers the ball quickly and gets it into the hands. Look, he sees him open now. He doesn't even mess around. The ball's already gone. And because of the way it's designed, fullback gets in open space and picks up pretty good yardage on our waggle right there. All right, now, again, just monkeying with sets a little bit. When we bring these guys in close, so this is really our weak set, because here's my tight end over here. Here's my X over here. Here's my wing back. I could run it any way I want. I could run a switch call here. I could run a regular call. But bringing them in changes people's eyesights. And what you're going to see here is just a different way of us looking and attacking the same thing. So we call this a snug set because we're really close. All right. You've got the wing back running a drag just like we did last play. The X is now running the backside post. But this is not called a shot. So we're going to read it. Quarterback comes out. Actually, I take that back. I'm trying to figure out what we had called. But regardless, everybody's running the appropriate route. So if the quarterback, and he was kind of squirrely this game, even though we had almost 700 yards of offense, he dropped the ball multiple times on snaps. And that may just be him looking, getting his eyes around automatically. Why he flips his shoulders over there, I don't know. It may have been called shot, and he comes off of it. And again, he's carrying it out. He's reading. Now, the thing that happens is if you watch, okay, you see this right here. Dropping in a zone, right? Getting big for the quarterback and letting him see it. Quarterback delivers the ball, and this kid's pretty good. Currently, he is playing safety at the University of Georgia and doing a pretty good job of it. That's number 17, Dan Jackson for UGA.